What's going on, guys? I'm Ko from KoSports.com, and today I'm here to talk to you about betting online and online sportsbooks. So, gonna walk through some of the top sportsbooks to use online in America, just because it's much more convenient to bet from your phone sitting on your couch than it is to actually drive into a physical sportsbook and place bets. So, obviously, the legalization of sports betting continues to spread across America, so some of the major players are offering sports betting in those states. The number one sports book in America right now, I would consider Fanduel Sportsbook to be the top option on the market. So obviously, you've heard about Fanduel. If you watch sports, they came onto the scene with daily fantasy sports, but now that sports betting has been legalized in a few different states and it continues to grow fast and furiously, they are taking advantage of that market. They are offering a sports book in multiple states now, including New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York, Iowa, and Indiana. So they also have a few physical locations that you can go in and place bets, hang out, watch the games, and all that jazz. But we're talking about online sports betting here. Online sportsbooks, FanDuel has a mobile app, and they should definitely be one of your top choices. The app is very user-friendly. They offer many different betting options. The odds that they offer are in line with the industry standards. So unlike some of the other offshore sports books where the spread is showing 6 on other sports books, you'll see it at 7. We'll get into one of those in a few minutes. But due to the size of FanDuel and the investors that are involved, they're able to offer very good promo codes, sign-up bonuses. Most of the time, you can get a 100% match bonus on your first deposit. So if you put $100 on, they will give you a free $100. So start betting with $200 when you put $100 on. So pretty good. When I travel, when I'm in the states that offer FanDuel Sportsbook, I am always betting on there. And then as far as cashing out, they send you a check. You can cash out with PayPal. So very convenient and quick options compared to some of the offshore sports books that we will talk about in a few minutes. But to get started on FanDuel, the minimum deposit is $10 and the minimum withdrawal is $1. They will send you a check, PayPal, or bank transfer. So FanDuel's really at the top of the list. That is my number one sportsbook in America right now. Very user-friendly. Customer service is great. So if you live in a state that offers FanDuel Sportsbook, get on there and use them. Next up, in a very close second, is Draftkings Sportsbook. Same thing with FanDuel. They started out just offering daily fantasy sports. They're based out of Boston, Mass. But now with the legalization of sports betting, they are capitalizing on that market. They currently offer their sportsbook in New Jersey, West Virginia, Indiana, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Iowa. Good thing about both FanDuel and DraftKings is that they are 100% legal in the states that they offer, so you don't have to worry about getting in any legal trouble by using those sports books. Same thing with DraftKings, obviously with the software developers that have been involved creating their apps and websites for daily fantasy. They are very user-friendly. It's easy to track your bets, place your bets, and everything else that you're looking for. If you're looking for the different promo codes that they're offering, easy to find, easy to locate, easy to maneuver around the app. So definitely check out DraftKings and FanDuel. DraftKings minimum deposit is $5 and minimum withdrawal is $1. Same thing with FanDuel. They offer withdrawal options of a check, PayPal, or bank transfer. Or you can go to a local physical location, DraftKings Sportsbook, and pick up your money. So that's that. Now we're getting into the offshore accounts. So first one here, one of the most popular is Sportsbook.ag. I've been using this sportsbook for over 10 years. They're not located in the United States, but I am. I've been using them. They're very popular, very reliable. Their lines and odds are always in line with the Vegas industry standards, so you don't have to worry about missing out on any value. But their website has always been easy to maneuver around. The only issue sometimes when they're updating their site, you'll log in and you want to place a bet and their site is down for maintenance. That's really the biggest issue that I've ever had with them. But other than that, it's usually up most of the time, ready to go. They don't have any issues when big games are coming up or anything like that. Usually their site is down in the middle of the night, so you don't have to worry about it, but I have run into that in the past. But there is one sketchy part about dealing with offshore sports books, and that is the withdrawal options. Now they have Bitcoin, but in the past it's always been via check, and sometimes those checks can take up to 6 weeks. And then when those checks arrive, it's under a business name that's not related to a sports book. Obviously, the legalities involved are the reason for that, but all of those checks are also international checks. So when you go to a United States bank and you try and deposit that, there's some eyebrows that can be raised. I've dealt with that in the past when I was trying to deposit a check for $2,500 from an international wood company in Canada, and I'm a 23-year-old guy. Like, what am I getting that money for, you know? Kind of sketchy, but now with the Bitcoin, it's a lot easier there, where you can have the Bitcoin withdrawal go to your Bitcoin wallet, and then you transfer your Bitcoin funds from your wallet to your bank account, and your bank can't come back and see where that money initially came from. So that's good, but that's definitely one of the downfalls about dealing with some of the offshore sites is it can be a little sketchy when you're getting a check from an international wood company or any other company. They seem to change all the time. But sportsbook.ag, it's reliable. Just the only call out I would have is dealing with those international checks. Minimum deposit is $25. Minimum withdrawal is $50 via Bitcoin or $250 via check. Next up, we have another offshore account, MyBookie.ag. They're an offshore sportsbook. Believe they're located in Costa Rica, but they claim to be the most trusted sportsbook for U.S. players. They've been around for maybe 4 or 5 years now. They haven't been around as long as like Bovada and Sportsbook.ag, but I've used them for the time since they've been around, and they've been pretty reliable for me. Obviously, they're never going to compete with the Fanduels and the Draftkings as those sites continue to develop and grow as the industry legalization continues to spread, but they are a good option. Their minimum deposit is $45 and the minimum withdrawal is $100. Good thing about MyBookie, they are an offshore account, but usually you are getting your withdrawal request within 48 hours, so very quick turnaround, and I know that's important to a lot of sports bettors where Sportsbook.ag, the check can take up to 6 weeks. With MyBookie, you can have a transfer or a check in the mail in 48 hours, and there you go. So that's one good thing about MyBookie. Also, the customer service, they're there right from the start. If you have any issues creating your account or depositing money into your account, they'll call you right up on your phone, talk you through it. And I was kind of sketched out the first time, but then thinking about it, if you're new and trying to get started for the first time and you have someone from the site actually call you and walk you through the process of depositing and getting signed up, it's pretty helpful. So that's another perk of using mybookie.ag. You can check them out on Twitter at betmybookie, I think is their link, so check them out. But I would put them just behind sportsbook.ag, depending on what you're looking for. The MyBookie site is good, but I've had some issues in the past with their site, just putting together parlays. I like to put parlays together, and sometimes their site will you'll have 6 teams added to your betting ticket, and then all of a sudden they'll just disappear. So kind of frustrating there. So that's why I'm ranking Sportsbook.ag above MyBookie, but both very reliable, good to use offshore sports books. And then finally, to rounding out my top 5, I have Bovada. Everyone's heard of Bovada. I've always viewed Bovada as an option because it's there, but not necessarily because they offer a quality product. I'm not really sure where they're located. I believe it's Canada, but they always seem to change their website. They change their social media pages frequently, so I think they're kind of moving around. The most recent domain they have is bovada.lv, so it makes you think that they're in Las Vegas, but it could just be a front. No one really knows where Bovada is located. But their website is not as mobile friendly as the other sportsbooks, Sportsbook.ag, MyBookie, and obviously the Draftkings and Fanduels. And then one issue I've always had with Bovada is if you ever have an issue with something, it seems like it takes days to get a response from a customer service rep. So very frustrating if you're trying to get something settled quickly. It's never good when you're waiting to hear back from Bovada. And sometimes if you look on Twitter and see some of the tweets, you'll see that people are just retweeting, re-commenting on their tweet, trying to get answers. And then one of the biggest things that is a turnoff for me with Bovada is the lines are not always within the industry standards. So if you see a sportsbook out in Vegas, usually those are the standard odds. So say you have a football team that's favored by 6 points. Sometimes on Bovada, they'll have them at 6.5 or even 7. So if you're moving a line a complete point, I really don't want to put my money down on your site because you're losing value. Something where you could be winning, or not winning, but if you had, say you had 6.5 on Fanduel and then 7 on Bovada, say that team wins by 7, you're not winning, but you're getting your money back on Bovada, but you're cashing in on Fanduel. So never really a big fan of lines not being in line with the industry standards. That's always been an issue with Bovada, and not just their spreads, but their money lines too. The money lines are juiced, which that means that you are getting less for your return on investment. So money line might be minus 110 on FanDuel, and Bovada could have it at minus 160. So instead of risking 110 to win 100 on FanDuel, you're risking 160 to win 100 on Bovada. So not something that I've been proud to say that I've done in the past, but I have used Bovada. Like I said, they are an option. It's convenient, but they are not one of my top 2 offshore sites. Actually, I only put this on the list because of the popularity. There's over 1 million people looking for Bovada every single month. So they're popular, but they aren't your best options. So just keep that in mind. Their minimum deposit is $20 and their minimum withdrawal is $10 via Bitcoin or $100 via check. So those are some of the top online sports books that you can use in America. Like I said, focus on the FanDuels, the DraftKings. As the legalization of sports betting continues to spread, those sports books will continue to offer their product in your state as soon as it's legal. So the day can't come soon enough, but very easy to use. If you have any questions about getting started with a sports book, hit me up at Cove Sports on Twitter or Instagram, and check out covesports.com for the latest sports betting content. Please subscribe to the channel and share this with any of your sports betting friends. Thanks, guys.